First of all, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Bert George. I am an assistant professor of public management at the Erasmus University in Rotterdam. And I was asked to say a few words about our recent paper in public administration called Institutional Isomorphism, Negativity Bias, and Performance Information Use by Politicians, a Survey Experiment. This paper was co-authored with scholars from Denmark and Ghent University, specifically Martin Bakgaard, Adeline de Kramer, Mieke Oudenaard, and Steen Hoemene. And the paper very much fits within a broader research line on strategizing in public and non-profit organizations, and specifically on the usage of information as key input for strategic learning and evaluation. Now, why is this article important for public administration today? Well, first of all, when we think about previous research on performance information use, especially experimental research, this has often focused on managers and on citizens, and not that much on local politicians. Second, previous experimental research has also often used micro-level psychological theory, which is of course very valuable, but to some extent we have kind of disregarded the importance of the macro level, the institutional context in which organizations operate. This is particularly astonishing when you take into account the current new public governance era, where cross-sector collaboration, where inter-organizational relationship, network governance, and so forth have become more and more important. So why is this article important today? First of all, because we focus on performance information use by actual local politicians. And second, because we use institutional isomorphism as a theoretical framework to explicitly link performance information use and new public governance, namely the institutional environment network in which organizations operate. Now, what are the main findings of our survey experiment? First of all, the coercive pressures. So when performance information is benchmarked with a performance standard set by a central authority, well, this actually has a positive effect on performance information used by politicians. So politicians are more likely to use this information when there is a benchmark with some type of central performance standard. Second, normative pressures. So when performance information is benchmarked with some type of norm advised by a professional organization, think about the Association of Municipalities, for instance, this also has a positive effect on actual performance information used by local politicians. So local politicians would use this information more if there was a benchmark tied to it, specifically linked to a norm set by a professional organization. Now, what are the implications of this article for research and for the wider society? Well, first of all, for research, we cannot neglect the macro level when we were designing experiments on performance information use in public management. A context is really at the heart of public administration, and to elucidate how networks and inter-organizational relationships influence individual behavior, well, that's really an important research question. It also implies that we need to use not just psychological theory, but also other social science theories, and perhaps theories from economics and so forth, to really get into the context underlying performance measurement. Second, for society, well, performance dashboards are just so widespread for all types of profiles, citizens, managers, politicians, and so forth. Often, these performance dashboards, they tend to be just raining down numbers. You get a huge number of pages, all different numbers that you have to look at, and there's not a lot of sense to it. And so the thing that's really emerging based on this article is please do add benchmarks. Compare how organizations or municipalities are doing in comparison to some type of central standard, some type of norm set by a professional association. So make a comparison, because this will improve the likeliness that the information will actually be used for strategic evaluation and learning. So that was kind of the quick abstract. I hope you all enjoy reading the paper. Please do follow me on Twitter, ResearchGate, LinkedIn, and so forth. Connect with me via email if you have feedback, if you want to debate this article. I'm very much open to this, and we truly hope that you will indeed enjoy it. Thank you very much for your attention, and best of luck.